it's seriously easy. It's fucking easy to just send someone a DM and say, how's your week going? And actually just be a normal bloke to someone, as opposed to try and game them. Gaming them takes a lot of skill, and you don't need to, because people want social. They don't want to be sold to. It's as simple as that.
Welcome to the Freedom Club podcast, where we discover the fight for freedom, fulfillment, passion, and purpose. Your host is Kurt Mercadante, Gallup certified strengths coach, an agency founder who is dedicated to coaching individuals seeking to level up their life and their businesses. The Freedom Club is about unlocking your talents, turning them into strengths, and crushing your objectives. You can learn more at kurtmercadante.com. Welcome to the Freedom Club.
So you have a pretty detailed framework, and I know people, you can go to your website and find it and download the guide or on LinkedIn. And can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So my method or
yes.
So I have the course that backs it up, the basics of LinkedIn, and this is essentially what I've been doing a lot of talks about recently. But the approach is called the 3 C's that I used. I kind of christened it that. So the 3 C's are content, connections, and community. And that's in reverse order of importance. People think that content is everything, and people say things like content is king. Yes, but go and look at all the amazing content on LinkedIn that gets 0 engagement. It's not. You need the right kind of connections, and you need to work the community in a really important way. So in terms of the amount of time spent, mostly spent with engaging community. To be direct here, I produce one piece of content per day, because I feel that's all I need to do to actually get a great wins. And with the connections I add, I'm trying to always send LinkedIn. This is a really interesting hack, I think. Send LinkedIn a signal that it's a certain type of person, demographic, location, and set of industries that I'm interested in. Now, whilst technically I might be relevant to many, there are certain regions in the world where maybe it's not as relevant. There are a lot of connection whores, as they're known by many, who are just like, I just want to connect with people, and I want to add numbers, I want to have numbers. And that's not necessarily profitable, because you know what it's like? I've got an Amazon Prime account, but I have 2 young girls. So my recommendations are a right mess. Most stuff is pink and has a unicorn on it. And so it's quite difficult, to kind of get things like a pure signal through to me. So it's the same here. I want to send the right signal in terms of connections. In addition, when I'm selecting connections I'm going to either accept or reach out to, I'm looking for 3 things there as well. I'm looking for those who are peers in terms of ballpark number of followers. Those that are, I call them like the pioneers, which are the ones who maybe say, I'm only like 3,500 followers. Those made like 20 or so thousand. And then those that are the real leaders that are like the way bigger ones. And just being strategic for the time being about selecting those that are active. Okay, so they actually get results and their content happening. They're actually posting stuff. And those who also are not too far ahead in terms of, if someone has 500,000 followers and masses, like 1,000 comments on each post, it's very little point in me tagging someone like that or engaging with them through my content, because I'm very unlikely to get hold of them. It'd be wonderful for the algorithm if Gary Vaynerchuk engaged my content, but he ain't gonna. So I might as well not involve him and involve people who are just a little higher up the curve. That tends to pull me along a bit more. I've really hacked and experimented with this. I'm a massive geek on this kind of thing, and that tends to work quite well. But then the community thing, as we both know, is every week 2 or 3 calls like this behind the scenes. No one even knows they're happening, because what it does is it validates validates the relationship with God. So if I like your stuff and you like my stuff, we know that there's depth to it, rather than just kind of engagement pod style trying to help someone's post do better.
Right.
So I think that matters, and overwhelmingly involved in DMs and things like that, and generally caring a lot about people, rather than the classic, hey, nice video post, content that you put on there. And I think the last thing as well is it really matters to show up, not just in comments and threads on your content, but on other people's. So if you lose the selfishness and go elsewhere, go to where there are other conversations and show up there, then you start getting the validator is when you get those comments like, you're just everywhere right now. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. It shows you're genuine. And I think then people want to kind of get behind you, and ultimately it helps build the scope, the scope of your posts to a wider audience. So that's kind of, it takes a lot of time. And that's what the one thing people don't want to hear is that it takes a lot more of your time, cumulatively a couple of hours a day. And the thing is, it's seriously easy. It's fucking easy to just send someone a DM and say, how's your week going? And actually just be a normal bloke to someone, as opposed to try and game them. Gaming them takes a lot of skill, and you don't need to, because people want social. They don't want to be sold to. It's as simple as that. It's hilarious that people won't do it.
Yeah, and that, showing up, there's a fourth C that I would say kind of brings them all together, which is consistency. And I see people, they'll do a video, they'll do 3 videos, and then they'll declare, I didn't get a sale, it doesn't work.
Load of rubbish.
And you also mentioned, it's calls like these. A lot of people don't realize the magic happens on LinkedIn, not necessarily in the feed. It happens in the message inbox.
Yeah.
And on Zoom, Skype, whatever choice that people connect.
Yeah.
And it's really been amazing, because I have not seen anything like it. Facebook, Twitter was a little bit like it when it first launched. There was some
okay.
When it first launched, I mean, I'm talking back whenever 07, 08. I remember there was some communities, kind of hashtag communities that would.
Yeah.
And now I just kind of feel like it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I feel that, and I'm kind of the team's not so keen on Twitter. I feel the same to a degree with Instagram. You can try, and actually a lot of the LinkedIn crew are over on Instagram, and we're in each other's posts, but it's just not as versatile, it seems, and as easy to navigate. I think Facebook tried, but the problem is that Facebook's, I feel, moving to a place it should be, which is pure social. Leaving LinkedIn inadvertently in a really good place, which is commercially social. It's got the right backdrop, the right vibe, and it's the perfect place for people to be social and yet get things done because they've got their business hat on. But when you want to look at photos of your cat and someone's kind of even gently trying to sell to you, it's quite difficult to have that as your main strategy. So I love the pivot I've done. I'm still very active on Facebook. But I just think that LinkedIn's been really good timing, and I just want to get in there and land grab before things change too much, because they will.